I'm live. Okay, let's see. Oh, let's see if I might have got some messages. Oh no, nobody cares. Nobody cares that I'm not here. Uh, oh, woe is me. Friday night live. Okay, what's up? There we go. Yes. All right. We are live. We're live on YouTube. We're live on TikTok. We are live. We are alive here in my seat. Just kicking it. I'm glitching out over here. What is up? Friday Night Live, number 5 or 6? I'm not really sure, actually. How many lives has this been? How many Fridays has this been? Hello, welcome. What's up? Notify. Notify. Hey, how you doing? Hello, nice to see you. How you been? Welcome back. Friday Night Live. What's the discussion? I don't know. Sorry I'm late to starting my Friday Night Live. Normally I start like at 8 sharp, but I was petting a dog, and that was very important to me. It's a very special dog. The dog hates everybody, including me. And today the dog decided that she loves me. It's my neighbor's dog. And it was a good time. Great time was had by all. It touched my heart, and I couldn't just give up that moment. So I had to spend time with the dog. That's how I do. Hello. Welcome. Hi. How are you all? Tell me what you know. Tell me about the brain. Or ask me about the brain. I'll tell you. Eyeballs go here. I suppose maybe I should share this with some people. Hello. What would happen if we used 100% of our brain? Massive seizure and you'd die. That's what would happen. Technically, we do use 100% of our brain, but we only use about, maybe a tenth of it at any given time. But that tenth is changing at all times. Sometimes more, sometimes less. Depends on how mentally active you're being. But yeah, we don't need too much communication happening all at once. That's known as epilepsy. Yeah. Hi. So here's another answer to your question. Let's say we could use our brain really efficiently without miscommunicating and we don't have a seizure. Then what's going to happen? We might be really efficient. I'm good. How are you? How are you doing? We might be really efficient at using our brain, but the problem is that our brain already takes up, just the way it is, about 25% of our caloric intake for the day. That's on a day where you're not super active with your brain. So when you are being super active with your brain, it needs a lot of energy. It would take a ton of energy to try to power that mechanism. And the other thing is that it would be not only like burning through energy rapidly, but also depleting itself of transmitters, neurotransmitters, very quickly. Hi, Katie. We'd be very overwhelmed. The other thing is, so one, all your nutrition gone. Your body would like shrivel away because how much energy your brain is using. And two, it would take such a long time just to figure out what you want to eat for lunch that you would probably starve to death before you've come to the proper conclusion as to what you should eat. Yeah, just too much going on. Too much going on. You need filters. Hi, Katie. What are you up to? How are you? Is that a Zara? What is that? I've never heard of such a thing, such a device. What is this? Is this witchcraft? Alien technology? Your car? Oh no. In the drive-through? I hope you at least had some donuts. I can't believe how many Dunkin' Donuts are here in the Northeast. Or yeah, northeast is a direction that I'm in, according to the US map. I'm in that direction. Um, I've never seen a Dunkin' Donuts ever, and I've heard about them tons in Oregon. I've never seen one. And then I move here, and they're literally like one every 3 blocks. Yeah. Oh, you're in New York? You're actually pretty close to us then. We're in Connecticut. Yeah. Your trash time of the month? What does that mean, Katie? Are you after boys again? All these dang boys. Yeah, for anybody who doesn't know, I'm also live on YouTube. Neuraljack. Come find me. Subscribe. I need more subscribers. And thanks to those who have already subscribed. We are now at like 42 or something, which is awesome. From Cali. Yeah, yeah. I was born in California, but I spent most of my life in Alaska and Montana and Oregon. I spent my last like 10 years in Oregon. Your least favorite relative? Oh no. Poor thing. Hopefully you're taking good care of yourself. Oh, I'm sorry. I don't know anything about that, and I don't know if I should comment on it either. I'm going to say no. Oh, Kimst is here. I see her lurking. Is one-handed mama here too? Hi. Fresh. Oh, thank you. Thanks for subscribing. I really appreciate it. You're helping me out. I need to come up with more content. Ooh, here's the thing. I have artwork. Many of you have seen my artwork and expressed interest in purchasing it. This one? Okay, here's an example of one I made last year. I'll try not to glitch out. Hang on. I have to shut this filter off or it's not going to work. How do I do this? I forgot how things work. Enhance. Effects. Off. There we go. Here's my octopus eating a brain. Lovely little octopus eating a brain. Everybody loves him. He's cute. He's reminiscent of Toctopus, the stuffed animal I used to carry with me. Oh, I lost a nail. So he'll go over here for now. I'm Chaos. Hi, it's nice to meet you. Anyway, yeah, so I'm going to be. I have a Redbubble that I just started, and so I'm going to put links up so that you can purchase stuff, shirts, mugs. I don't know, whatever. But yeah, what is up, Kimsta? Taco Bell certainly counts as taking care of oneself. I will do it. What is my major? Funny you should ask. I don't have one because I have a graduate degree. I have my master's in psychology, but when I was going to school, I majored in psychology and biology. Yeah. Uh, and I was getting a PhD in systems neuroscience in psychology, but I sort of left that program in Oregon to come here for a job at Yale. And I may pick up a program here if I can. I'll apply and see if I get in for the PhD program here. Thank you. I'm glad you like it. Yes, the idea is to sell. Yes, I have another piece of artwork here that you all have probably seen the video. I was also live when I did this. Yeah, so I might throw this gal on a shirt or something. Have that on a mug. Have a mug on a mug. And yeah. Yeah, buy stuffs. Hello, Joe. Hi, how are you? On antidepressant medication, it is good for certain people, for sure. Um, it seems as though that medication takes a while to work based on its mechanism of action or its proposed mechanism of action, which is to sort of, some drugs, you're just trying to get the chemical in the synapse. And antidepressants, that is the case, but they tend to take a while to work. And then the longer you're on them, they start to work better because it's thought that, yeah, you need the neurotransmitter in the synapse, but also you need to create more efficient synapses, meaning you need to get them to fire together more. So it's thought that over a period of a few weeks, you are improving your connectivity. Hey, she's very pretty. Yes, thank you. On getting your master's in psych, do it. Yes. How? Where are you at? Where are you going to school? Thank you. I'm good, Joe. Yeah, just started Friday Night Live. I'm late to the game because I was petting a dog, and I love that dog. I love that dog. She is my neighbor's dog, and she's so skittish of everybody, including me. And then tonight, she just decided I'm part of the family. So I love her. What's that? Not more than my wife. Equal. I love you the same. Hopefully, we'll go back to school again soon. Yeah. Oh man, I started my masters like right at the beginning of the pandemic. Boy howdy. Boy howdy. Got through it though. Started your meds. Yeah. Well, good luck. ADHD meds are the ones I'm always like weary about because I don't know. They're different for everybody. But good luck to you. I hope they work out well. I hope you find a combination that works. Given that you just started out, you may have to work with your doctor on a couple of combinations. Try not to get discouraged if they don't work immediately. Just keep trying until you find the thing that works for you. That's not medical advice. That's just me being friendly. What's my favorite thing I've learned about the brain? I don't know. Harm, what's my favorite thing I've learned about the brain?
I don't know. You've learned a lot about the brain.
I've legit probably forgotten so many things that I love about the brain just from all the things I've learned about it. What's my favorite thing? Pass. Let me think on it for a little bit. I'll tell you if it comes to me. There's a lot of things. I really like I really like what a mystery the brain is and how we still don't quite know how a lot of things are working. Like if it has to do with, some things look like combinatorial codes, some things might just be rates of firing, some things we can talk about in terms of like wave function. Yeah, so I don't know. There's a lot of things going on. I do like, okay, here's one that's just funny. I don't know that it's my favorite thing, but I'll at least give you an interesting thing is that apparently people who have eaten a human brain, cooked and eaten it, say it smells like bacon and it tastes like bacon. So do with that what you will. It's also about the consistency of room temperature butter. So spread it on toast. It'll be bacony toast. Going to school in Cali, but you moved to New York 6 years ago. Writing with kids. Aw. I see. Some people in our field are unconvinced prospective memory is a thing. Do you have an opinion? Who's unconvinced of prospective memory? I don't understand how you could be. So many people use it. How would it not be a thing? Well, I need more context. I need to understand like why would they say that it's should I look this up? Is this controversial? This doesn't feel like a controversial thing to me. For anybody who doesn't know, prospective memory is just like your memory to like remember something in the future. Like, uh, I don't know, like remember to pick up your kids after school. Like this kind of like, what do you know you have to do? I guess you could argue that that might not be a form of memory, but that really does feel like it is to me. I don't know. I've also never met anybody who thought that prospective memory was not a thing. So that's news to me. Who is it that's in our field that doesn't think this is a thing? Yeah, the ADHD meds. My sister is on ADHD meds. I think. I think she still is. She's been on them her whole life, and uh, yeah, those are touchy. You got to be real careful with them. Yeah, that's a good way to put it. Remembering to remember. Oh yeah, I got to remember about this thing. Right. Yeah. The brain literally does have endless topics. It is infinite, infinitely, Aaron. Who absorbs knowledge? Does who? Does the person who? Oh, the person who eats the brain on toast? Yes, I'm going to say yes. Literally, they're absorbing someone else's knowledge. Do they get to have that knowledge afterward? I don't know, but they're consuming it with their body, and their body's taking it in. I'm going to put this back up. Wait, that's wrong. What was I doing? Oh yeah. Hold, please. There we go. Right, like remembering to take meds. Sure. Yeah, I've never heard anybody argue about that. That just seems like recall. It's just an aspect of memory recall. I don't understand how that would not be a thing. Prions, nah, you're fine. You're fine. Eat it. Eat the brain. Your chance of getting a prion disorder from eating a brain is like way less than 1%. You'll be fine. Do it. That's medical advice that you can take.
Stop talking to these
I'm just kidding. Don't take that advice. Also, I can't give medical advice. I'm not a medical doctor, but I do hear brains are delicious. I know a lot of people eat cow brains for protein. Yeah. But if you do get a prion disorder like Kuru or something, that is gnarly business. You will probably be dead within a year. Maybe two, if you're lucky. You get a bunch of holes eaten in your brain. You don't think so? You just remembered the original thought? I mean, yeah, but like it's a strategy though, right? It's not just it's not the same as it's not the same as a recurring thought. It's like because you may not have ever had the thought before, right? You could just be planning your future day out. So it's a little bit different. It's more like a memory strategy in my mind than anything else. I gotcha. Yeah, well, Eek the Brave, I hope that you find the right combination for you, that it works well. That's okay, Kimsta. I forgive you. You be your sleepy self. Much love. Trypophobia, is that the holes thing? I think so. Let me look it up just to make sure that is what this is. Yeah. I love when you look up trypophobia, it just shows you images that would trigger you if you have trypophobia. I don't have trypophobia. Actually, I like looking at stuff like that. It freaks me out, but I like it. Am I okay? Did you say no? Aw, wife says I'm not okay.
I'm kidding.
Earlham University, a grad friend of yours had to defend his thesis and they didn't think it was a thing. Earlham, huh? Oh, Earlham College, it looks like. It's a 4-year college. Is this the right one? In Indiana? In Richmond? Is that the one? I don't know, but I mean, I got my master's from a tier 2 research facility and they said it was a thing. So, yes, bee's knees. Hi, how are you? We love you and we're glad you're here. Also, eat brain. Yum. Maybe I should. Oh, you know what? That's what I'm going to draw next. I'm going to design a. I'll design it for a shirt or something. Um, brains in a can, like Campbell suit or something. I don't know. Maybe we'll do something like that. Spreadable brains. Do you think all brains are created equal, or some are set up for higher levels of intelligence? I mean, it's pretty much a fact that not every brain is equal. In fact, no brain is. Right? They're all different. Um, and like everything, like almost everything that falls in nature is on some sort of curve, right? Usually it can be normalized on a curve, right? So the mass majority of people will be dead center of that curve. And then you'll have a lot of people as you move outward, but as you go to the very ends, you're going to have very few people. So you're going to have very few people who are set up with very low cognition and very few people set up with extremely high cognition right at the tails, right? Deja vulnerable. Deja vu. I forgot what we were talking about. What is deja vu in relevance to? Deja vu is, yes, you're welcome. Deja vu is related or thought to be to working memory processes. I can talk about that if you like. I don't think I've talked about that in a while, so that might be a good thing to talk about. Harm, come get your man's. Liberal arts program. Ah, okay. That's it, huh? In Indiana? Oof. Brainios? Oh, like SpaghettiOs? Ew, that's disgusting. I'm drawing it. Ew, I gotta. I gotta screenshot that. Okay, I have it for later now. Thanks, Kimsta. Appreciate you. French fried potatoes. I was I was watching a clip from that movie earlier. I think I sent it to Harm, where he fixes the lawnmower. He's all, "You forgot to put gas in it." Brain loaf. Ooh, I like that, Joe. Brain loaf. Nice. Yeah, I'll talk about deja vu. Why not? Maybe unrelated, whatever. But somebody provided an explanation one day to Badley's model, or to deja vu using Badley's model of working memory, and I really liked it. I thought it was a good explanation, so I'll talk about it here. Basically, Badley's model, Badley, Badley, Baddley. I think I'm gonna look it up. Baddley, Badley's model of working memory. Anyway, he's like the main guy for working memory. He has a model that states that you have like three forms of memory, and your working memory uses all three. So you have your short-term memory, you have your, or sorry, you have your sensory memory, which is everything coming into the immediate, right? What are my eyes seeing? My ears hearing? What am I tasting and smelling? What am I touching, feeling? What am I sensing? Right? And this memory lasts like millis. It lasts like a fraction of a second, up to a couple seconds, right? But it's constantly being updated with new information. That's the point. It's just always being updated as you're living your life. And what you choose to focus on, what you choose to pay attention to, will end up in your short term memory. Now you can hang on to this piece of information up to 20 seconds, around 20 seconds. So if, say you're paying attention to a book you're reading, if you start your sentence and it takes you longer than 20 seconds to finish the sentence, you'll start forgetting what was at the beginning of the sentence by the time you're at the end. You might forget what you even read or the context for it. So, deja vu several times a month. Always like, am I in a loop? Have you ever had head trauma? That's not me being a jerk, but like, it's weirdly enough, I've had a lot of head trauma, and it tends to occur with people who have, also people who have lived through a lot of traumatic incidences. And I'll actually talk about why that is in a second. Yes, I am going to badly explain deja vu, but spell it correctly. It's badly. Brainios aren't working good. Oh no. My brainios are getting crusty. You're having flashbacks. Oh, poor Katie. Bee's knees. Did I miss something? I think I missed one of your comments. I don't know. Yes, uploading consistently, constantly. Spooky, scary skeletons. Yeah, I think other traumas can actually cause it too. Yeah, I'm good though. Good. I'm glad to know that you're okay. Okay, so speaking of, now what you're choosing to pay attention to, that sits in your short-term memory. Like I was saying, you got about 20 seconds. During that time, you can enact your working memory, which is, when I say you can enact, it's not like you're purposefully, it'll kind of happen naturally, or it should happen naturally, but you're pulling information from your long-term memory out, whatever's related to what's happening in the immediate. And you're saying, how can I make use of this old information given this new information? Or how can I update this old information given this new information? And so your working memory is thought to possess two really important tools, probably a bunch of other tools as well, but these two main functions are your visuospatial sketchpad and your phonological loop. So your phonological loop is you repeating things back to yourself. You can do this to hang on to an item for a very long time. And also, while you're performing the phonological loop, you know how we say, Hebbian learning, neurons that fire together wire together? You're strengthening those connections by repeating it to yourself, by coming back to it over and over again. You're training your brain that this is an important thing to know. So repeat, repeat, repeat. Your brain is more likely to hang on to it. And then your visuospatial sketchpad is your sort of three-dimensional awareness. It's your ability, some people don't have this, but it's your ability to mentally picture imagery, right? Yes, so that's your working memory. Using your sensory memory, what's coming in immediately, what you're paying attention to, what you're hanging on to in your short-term memory, and then pulling out of your long-term memory and making use of it in some way. How do I update the information? How do I navigate this, whatever I'm going through right now, given past information? Things like that. So with deja vu, one theory using Baddeley's model is that something strange might happen in the process of trying to, I guess, learn. You're like paying attention to the environment. This is why it might be related to trauma. You're paying attention to the environment, you're really in tune, and you're struggling to pull something out of your long term awareness or your long term memory, I mean. And you might actually store from your short term memory what's happening now into your long term memory before you've had a chance to really think about it. And then you pull that memory back out of your long term memory immediately after you've already stored it while it's still happening. And so the reason this might be related to trauma is because this may actually just be your brain moving a little too quickly to keep up with itself, because you're sort of in a reactionary phase. You're trying to act as quickly as possible or pay attention. I don't think that you have to be going through trauma for this to happen. I think it just happens to people more often who have been through severe trauma. I think their brain just does it by accident. But in essence, what's happening is you perceive the event that's happening now as having happened a long time ago, because typically when you pull things out of your long-term memory that were stored there, they were stored there a long time ago. Or at least not now, so I think it leads to this really strange sensation, this really weird phenomenon where you feel like, even though you know this has never happened before, you really feel like you've lived it before. Nobody worry about Kimsta. I'm still worried. Aw, thank you. I'm glad I was able to convey the information well. It's kind of a convoluted idea. It takes some background knowledge and some effort, but I think it makes sense. I think it's good. Shoot. I left that downstairs. You don't like it? Yeah. I don't think anybody who's ever experienced deja vu that I've ever met has like enjoyed the experience. It's always very unnerving. I'm just glad it's common enough that people can accept it as a thing. Cause like imagine if it was a lot more rare and nobody knew what you were talking about. You just sound crazy. Thank you. What's next? Should we see what's in my Yale news feed? Ooh, in other news, I might be getting ready to write a paper soon that hopefully I can publish. I'd be very happy if I could do that. Uh-oh, tuberculosis strains now spreading in Moldova. Throws you off. Ma'am, are you okay? You seem to be glazing over. Your eyes are growing crossed. Oh, thank you. Yeah, hopefully I'll be able to get like 2 or 3 papers out this year, or at least get my name on them. I don't know. I'll have one paper I might get to put my name first on as a first authorship. The other 2, I'll just be like, or possibly 3 more where I'll be an author on the paper, which would be amazing for my CV because I really need it. I need more papers. Can we live without our spines? No. The answer is no. No. Well, define spine. Your spinal cord or your spinal bone? And also, I'm inclined to say no to both, but I don't really know. Is it possible? Maybe. But I feel like it. So the thing is, your spinal cord feeds all of your organs, right? Like with information. Your blood vessels feed your organs with nutrients, but like your spinal cord is what informs your heart to beat. It's what informs your lungs to your diaphragm to move and open your lungs. It informs your stomach and your guts to move, right? The smooth muscles and your kidneys. All that function requires your spinal cord to be intact. And when it's not, people can live without certain things, but you need like pretty severe medical intervention to do that. What can you share about your research? I actually have been advised not to share about my research until it's published. Yeah, I would like to talk about it. I really like what I do. I would like to talk about it, but I can't right now. But maybe after some work is published, then I can share the link with you. You can read the paper for yourselves. I'm allowed to give like 20 people a paper for free, but maybe you can find it on Sci-Hub. I don't know.
Snack Packs is here.
Snack Packs is here. Put the spinal fluid in a pulp. No, that person would die, Kimsta. That person will die, I promise you. You can't live without your spine. You need your spine. Yeah, we do need our bones for blood. What is addiction? I will get to that in just a second. I did know that it makes blood. Hi, Snack Packs. What up? How are you? Yeah, you're welcome to read my paper when it comes out. I can't talk about it now. I know. I'm sorry. That's what I was advised. People get upset when you share research too early. Also, I don't know that I've found anything yet. I still have to run all the numbers. I think I might have found a couple of things, but we'll see. Okay, somebody asked about addiction. So addiction is sort of like a weird catch-all term. I've talked about so many things, I forget where I'm at. Oh, you found out about the blood being made in your bones recently? Yeah, it's pretty cool. It's pretty cool stuff. Really weird. Yeah, hence like why some people need bone marrow transplants, right? But they got bad blood. Yes, so addiction is a catch-all term. It's like sort of it's not a very good term, honestly. It's better to use things like, substance use disorder or chemical dependency, depending on what you're talking about. Oftentimes those co-occur. But, like a substance use disorder is typically thought to be more psychological, and a chemical dependency is more like physiological. They oftentimes co-occur with most chemical substances, most psychoactive substances. Um, when a person is addicted, they're usually falling under one or both of those frames. Meaning, they're suffering from things like tissue dependency, where they have survived using this substance for such a long time that whatever this substance is acting as an agonist or antagonist against, these mechanisms neurologically have been affected. And so, say, for example, you have somebody who's using heroin a lot every day, right? And heroin, we know, is sort of an agonist for your endogenous opioid system. That being the case, you are replacing your endogenous opioids by using it. And frankly, you have too much in your system. So your body has to counteract that somehow to protect itself, right? Or it'll die, because it's easy to overdose on heroin and other opiates. So it does that several ways. One way is that after enough time, it stops producing its own endogenous opioids. Another thing it'll do is it'll make it harder for those endogenous opioids to leave the presynaptic cell through a number of mechanisms. Another thing is it might make it more difficult for the postsynaptic cell through a number of ways to even receive the endogenous opioid by forming less channels, or who knows, it could be a bunch of things. So your body is like actively counteracting this effect because the drug is always there. Then this person becomes what we say, like, they have tissue dependency. They're dependent on this drug. Their tissues, their actual physical tissues, are dependent on this drug, because the moment you take it away, that person no longer operates correctly. Because their body will not create or receive endogenous opioids the way that it had previously. And if you're not actively pumping opioids into your system, your body will stop working, right? And then that person, because your endogenous opioid system is heavily related to how synaptic pain transmission works, that person will then be in pain, a lot of it. And even though withdrawal from opiates will not kill you, it's probably the most painful withdrawal process of all of them, for that reason. So that's when we say tissue dependent. People can also be psychologically dependent on chemical substances. Uh, you know, so because a lot of chemical substances that are psychoactive mess with your circuitry for reward and habit forming, reward processing and habit formation. You're like dopaminergic and serotonergic neurons are often heavily implicated. So I don't know. I don't know how technical to get here, but so you have a couple of areas in the brain that are primarily of interest, right? You have your nucleus accumbens and your, I don't know if you can see that, and your ventral tegmental area. Your nucleus accumbens is up in the prefrontal cortex, I think, sort of medial. Let me look this up. I just want to make sure. Ventral tegmental. Yeah. Okay. And yep. Yeah. So your nucleus accumbens is sort of like up above the ponds. It's like up in this little weird nublet region. And sorry, this is your ventral tegmental area. And then your nucleus accumbens is like just right here, up in the prefrontal cortex. So you have these two little areas that are sort of a feedback loop. They feed into each other and they sort of inform. I guess one way you could think about it is they inform your brain as to how something is rewarding and important for survival, right? And these two areas are thought to be hijacked with substance use disorders in the sense that your reward value that you ascribe to the chemical substance is much higher than it should be or would be in nature. So, for instance, if you are doing a line of cocaine, right, that is like a pretty strong stimulant. That's going to be super rewarding compared to chewing on coca leaves from which cocaine is made, which would also be rewarding. But the coca leaves is something that humans will come into contact in nature with, right, on occasion. And I don't know. That's kind of a weird, messy argument to make. I don't know if I'm going to go there. But in essence, when you're like taking in a chemical substance that is manufactured, it is much more powerful than what you would normally occur in nature. So its ability to hijack that mechanism is pretty powerful in a lot of people. Roughly 10% of the human population suffers from a chemical use disorder of some sort. Because when we come into contact with these things that have been heavily modified, like alcohol has been heavily modified, virtually every drug has been heavily modified to the point where it's just too powerful. Even cannabis has been modified that way. So, yeah, sometimes these areas get hijacked in people, and their brain starts informing them that if they don't get the drug, they're going to die, or some sort of doom will befall them, right? And it is a very persistent belief, yeah, which can sometimes cause people to do awful things. Took the brain and the spine and put it in a suit. I don't know, Kimsta. I feel like the closest thing I've seen to that is some Russian scientists back in the 60s who reanimated a severed dog's head, which was kind of weird. I don't know if I want to talk about that. It's sad. What do you think about cannabis and the effects it has on the brain? We don't use the word marijuana. That's a racist term, believe it or not. So I don't know. There's a lot of research out there. I guess more research needs to be done. But now that it's kind of legal, we can do research on it. It looks like it definitely impacts people's brains. You know, when you think about it, your endocannabinoid system is all throughout the brain. Your endocannabinoid receptors are the most prevalent in the brain. They're everywhere. So we know that people who use it often experience problems with short-term memory. That's kind of like a trope and a joke about it, because it's heavily implicated in mechanisms of learning memory. It can also profoundly impact a person's ability to make decisions. And I think one of the things that we found is that the earlier a person is exposed to and starts using it with a high frequency, the more likely they are to have memory problems later on in life. Although there is contradicting evidence to that. Not necessarily like contradictive, just like some people have found evidence that that is the case, and some people have found evidence that there is no difference. Then, you know, somebody who uses cannabis and somebody who doesn't. So I don't know. There's research to support either. put brain tendrils on microchips and move arms and stuff. I've been thinking about how to do that actually, because I want to make a prosthetic that can hook up to someone's nervous system. So I was trying to think of maybe I shouldn't share too much on this, but I was trying to think of a way that you can get a neuron to fire and talk to uh, some sort of like basic robotic component. I mean, because at the end of the day, it's flipping its electric polarity, right? So I guess maybe you could get like something to read that charge and register that difference. But how would you do that without damaging the neural tissue itself? That's the hard part. Is like, how do we connect it and not do damage? Because if you're going to measure the flipping of the polarity, you have to measure both the inside and the outside of the cell, right? But to measure the inside of the cell, you have to stab it. Oh, yes. The endocannabinoid system is also related to the endogenous opioid system as well. Yeah. Some people, a lot of people experience pain relief through use. Your nerves are shot, you'd rather not have them. The body exhibit, I'm not sure. I don't think I have. I've heard of a few things. I think is this the one where they have like cross sections of humans and stuff? Yeah, I haven't been to it, but I've seen images from it. There's also like this really crazy, crazy is a bad word for it. It's a wild teratogen related version of that. I think it might be a German exhibit, but
What is teratogen?
a teratogen it's a horrible term. It literally means like monster maker, but it's a chemical substance, or it doesn't have to be chemical. It's some sort of stressor that is put on a mother during pregnancy that causes their child to come out with a deformity of some sort.
So what you're saying is I would be in that.
No, because
Well,
your deformity is not directly related to something, say like cigarette smoke or alcohol use or like some sort of accident, something like that. Uh, yours occurred because of just a spontaneous random event. Um, but yeah, so we know certain, like for instance, what's the name of that one medication? Pregnant women were prescribed a medication for morning sickness. Let me look it up really quick. Thalidomide, right? So thalidomide was helping pregnant women for a very long time with their morning sickness, but then it was found that their babies were being born missing part or all of their limb or potentially multiple limbs. They would be born without their arms and legs. And so it was found that thalidomide is actually a pretty powerful teratogen during a specific trimester, and uh, not a great drug to give a pregnant woman, I guess. But yeah. Anyway, yeah. So there's a German exhibit of, I guess, humans and babies that were born with different neurodevelopmental differences, and were also placed in an exhibit like that. Neurolinguistics author, I don't know. I never really studied neurolinguistics. I had a few friends. One was in the McNair Scholars Program with me. Who studied neurolinguistics. And I think he went on to go get his PhD somewhere. I'm not sure. Oh, John C.L. Ingram is one name that I recognize. He's on a lot of work. I don't recognize any of these other people. Yeah, I'm not super familiar with neurolinguistics. I should be. It's a very interesting topic. I just never actually got into it. The dog head thing? Oh, I'm sorry. Oh, that's okay. I just thought, I'm not trying to like chew you out or anything. I just thought I would inform you that the M word regarding cannabis is a bad word. It's made to criminalize Mexican people. The tree bark from Africa called iboga that is said to reset the addiction part of the brain. That I have not heard. And I don't know.
Any quick fix thing is a red flag.
Anything that's a quick fix is a huge red flag. Also, when you say cure addiction, addiction isn't a real thing. That's just like a weird term that we use kind of colloquially. Like that TikTok sound that's going on all over the place. It's like, I'm addicted to this, not in a literal medical sense, but I don't think I could live without it. That's kind of how we use addiction. But I will look it up. Okay, it's with an I. Psychoactive substance found in plants in the family Apocynaceae, such as Tabernathi iboga. Its use has been associated with serious side effects and death. I'm going to say don't use this. Let's see. A total of 19 fatalities temporarily associated with ingestion of ibogaine were reported, with 6 subjects died of acute heart failure and cardiopulmonary arrest. I'm going to say this drug is bad. A visionary phase and introspection phase. The visionary phase is described as onirogenic. So enhances dreamlike states of consciousness. This must be almost like opioid-like. So it's psychedelic. Maybe. Some psychedelics do have that sort of effect where it's sort of like if you previously had a substance use disorder, certain psychedelics might kind of not reset your brain, but make you not want to do more drugs for sure. Yeah. Used with caution, I guess. The trauma you experienced as a kid really messed with your brain and the way you function. Same, dog. Yeah. A lot of us are that way, unfortunately. But hey, we gravitate to each other because we're good people. We understand hardship. Sorry to hear that occurred, but I like to think that my trauma has made me better because of it. Not everybody feels that way, and that's okay. Yeah. Yeah, thalidomide. South Africa. I would be careful with it, I guess. Oh, you got me on the main TV. Awesome. Hoskin Boskin is here. Yeah, how's Australia doing right now? Your profile pic always gets me every time. I still think it's Trump. It's not. It's Freddy from Scooby Doo, and something as bad has happened to him. Maybe he did that aboga. How dare I call you a good person? Now, hold on. Don't take words out of my mouth, Katie. I never said such things. Although you are a good person, whether you like it or not.
Maybe not good at being a person.
Aw. Yeah, none of us are really great at being a person, but we do it. We do it anyway. I'm trying. I try so hard. Are you having fun?
No.
Oh.
This is hard. It's hard when it's up against the wall. I'm not strong enough.
I'll get it later. What else we got? I'm going to go back to this. Yeah, it's not what I need. Oh, here we go. Can you don't? My poor wife. Are you giving me the finger? Jeez. I'm trash at existence, but I'm here and I'm doing a moderate job at it. That's all we can really ask, you know? Same, also. Okay, let's see. What came up in my Yale news feed today? Let's see. Scientists supercharge cancer-fighting T cells. I have seen some cool stuff with that. Beyond clotting, growing science reveals extensive role of platelets. Nice. New class of oncogenic fusions revealed in lung and pancreatic cancer. Inhaled corticosteroids are effective asthma treatment in people of color. That's interesting. Got some prize winners. Valentina Greco, PhD, Carolyn Walsh Slayman Professor of Genetics, has been elected Vice President of the International Society for Stem Cell Research. After 2 years in that position, Greco will begin a 1-year term as ISSCR's president in July 2024. Nice. That's pretty cool. You're good at being toxic? Yes, Katie. We all know that. But we appreciate your chaos nonetheless. Cool. Faya Rogers, PhD, Associate Professor of Therapeutic Radiology, has received Yale Cancer Center's Leadership in Diversity, Equity, and Inclusion Award, as well as YCC's Translational Science Research Prize for her paper in Nature Biotechnology, Direct Targeting of Amplified Gene Loci for I can't say this word. Proapoptotic is a word. Anti-cancer therapy. Why can't I say that word? I've never been able to say that word. Apoptotic. Proapoptotic. I English good. Abort. That is a lot of stuff. I think most of it was this month. Let's see. Yeah, March 11th, March 9th, 15th, 11th. Some of this stuff will not be enacted for a little bit. But yeah, this is the news that's going on for March. I think this is a weekly newsletter, actually. I usually get these every week. I get it at the Yale School of Medicine Department of Neurology news feed. So, yeah, it's fun stuff. I really should take part in more of these seminars that they have weekly too, just like people's talks. Yeah, it's pretty cool stuff. As well as that, it was all that plus the other thing that I was talking about yesterday, how they figured out some researchers here at Yale may have figured out a way to open up the blood brain barrier while trying to administer a drug and then shutting it again, which is that would be an amazing thing to do if they can. They figured out a couple of proteins related to the process of the blood brain barrier being open and shut. These are loose terms, but they kind of make sense.
Are you dog?
I'm okay. It is Friday. I do research right now. I don't know. I'm kind of in this weird like superposition between employed and school. I am in a postdoc position technically, although I don't have my PhD. Normally, you would have your doctorate in order to be in a postdoc position, but they hired me for a postdoc position anyway with my master's. Um, and it is technically a training position, so education? I don't know. It depends on who you talk to, I guess. But I am getting paid, so there's that. I get paid pretty okay. Um, yeah, I would like to get my PhD here. I'd like to finish my PhD. But the thing is, I wouldn't even be finishing my PhD. I would have to start it over because Yale does not accept credits from anywhere. It is a sweet job. Quite the move, yeah. Aw, thank you. Yeah. Uh Still trying to figure out what we're gonna do if we're gonna stay here in Connecticut. We're probably gonna stay for another year and I'll work here for another year. And then I don't know. I'm gonna try to get into the PhD program here at Yale. I'm gonna try. I really want to. I would like to stay at my lab and do work. Um, but they say you shouldn't just apply to one school, right? So I might apply to a couple other schools in the nearby area that are pretty good schools to go to and see if I get into any of them. If I do, I might go to those programs. If I don't get into any of them, I might just stay working here, but I may switch over to working for the VA because it pays more. Move to San Diego. I have considered it. I know Yale's all elitist. I mean, probably for good reason, I guess. I don't know. I did ask about living in California today. Because, I mean, there's a chance we could maybe apply to a school there, maybe like Berkeley or, uh, Stanford or something. I don't know. Hi, Mom. What's up? Yeah, so we're still trying to figure out what I want to be when I grow up. Also, I think I want to get into prosthetics technology, so that's probably going to heavily sway my decision. Someone to wrangle you? Oh, Katie. I'm not sure that's possible. Oh, thanks for the rose. Roses. Gang's all here. Much love. Yeah. So one of the people I work with, he studies amputees who have phantom limb pain. I think I'd really like to get into that research and understand more about that stuff. It really interests me. It has for a very long time since I was a kid. Is Harm still in school? Heck yeah, she is. What's she want to do? Yeah, I don't know. That's the other thing is we have to figure out what she wants to do too.
That'll come secondary.
I personally do not feel like it comes secondary. I feel like both our dreams are important.
They are, but I can do my dream anywhere.
Yeah.
Yours has to come first.
I guess we got to use the opportunities we're given. And also, where do we want to live? Do we want to live in Pennsylvania? I don't know. I've never been to Pennsylvania. Don't know what it's like. Do we want to live in Boston? Maybe. I don't know. Never been there. Maybe we should pay these places a visit sometime.
No, we're going to Boston.
We are going to Boston. When are we going?
June.
June? We're going to Boston in June. We're going to be walking here. It's going to annoy everybody. People have to tell you stuff 5 times. Try repeating it to yourself 5 times. That's that phonological loop business I was talking about earlier. I don't know if Harm wants to go to Cali. Yes, we do make our dreams together and meet in the middle somewhere. California, Boston, Colorado, right in the middle. There we go. Figured it out. Solved. Bet mom's happy.
Mom's tried to Colorado too. It's expensive there.
Ugh, yeah. Mom, come live with us somewhere, not Colorado. Let's go somewhere not the US. Let's go somewhere nice. I'm gonna go be Icelandic now. Aw, we miss you too. Let's go. Let's do it. Get our passports. Yeah. Pretty sure now that I've worked at Yale, it's a good thing to have on my CV. I feel like if I did want to go to another country and work, I could probably find a job okay. I feel like it wouldn't be like, I don't know. I don't know. I've never been, other than Mexico and Canada, I've never been outside of the US. So I need to go visit more places. You go to Sweden? I would go to Sweden. Yeah, we should go to Mexico. Chicago's in the middle. Screw it. We're going to Cleveland. We're going to go visit Joe.
Sounds like we might be.
Oh, yeah. Oh, for the one thing, huh?
On my stupid, useless birthday.
It's not, your birthday's not stupid and useless. I'm sorry. I have to probably go to a conference. I don't know yet. I'm trying to get the travel award for it, but there's a conference out in the middle of nowhere in Ohio. And I would have to go on the weekend that Harm's birthday falls on.
I have to go to Ohio for my birthday.
She has to go to Ohio for her birthday.
Ugh.
It's just real upsetting for everybody. Assuming I get the travel award. I might not. I don't know. Thanks for all the likes. 4.3 thousand. Geez. Or what does it say for everybody else? Because apparently TikTok shows different numbers depending on who you are. Yeah, I need to make more artwork. I need to make more artwork and get this Redbubble going so people can buy it if they want it. They want to support us. Yeah, I guess those are synonymous, right? Ohio is the middle of nowhere. It just is. Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. That would be dope for sure. Where's that at? Is that in Cleveland? Where's that? It says 9.3 for you. It says 4.4 for me. Aw, thank you. I'm glad you liked it. I think I might sell shirts and stuff with it on there. Sandusky. 4.4 for Infinitely Aaron. Yeah, it's interesting. TikTok's a liar sometimes. Weird. Okay, guess it's 4.4. Thanks for fixing it, TikTok. Glad we talked about it. Oh, man. You know what we need to do? We need to go live, Harm and I together, and we need to make pretzels again. Like the first time we went live together in person.
We can also just go live and like just talk about stuff like you used to a lot when you're done.
We could go live and talk about stuff. Sure. I see that. It's funny. We're on the same track. You love when Harm's on. Everybody does.
Yeah, you never invite me anymore.
Come on over.
No, I had to bring it up. I want it to be your idea, and I want you to answer why. I don't want it if it's my idea. That's boring.
Anyway, I want pretzels. That's what I'm trying to. That's what I'm trying to say. That's what I'm going for. And yeah. Oh man, they're so good. Pretzels are so good. Hey, take care, Oskin Boskin. It's good to see you. Show me my daughter.
Oh, is that my mom?
Yeah.
Okay. I'll come over in a second.
She says she'll come over in a second. You want to entertain them now for a minute?
No.
No.
I don't want to be an afterthought.
It's my idea.
No. I'm good. I'll make an appearance when I'm good and ready.
She's being a bit of a drama queen. What do you call that? Being a diva a little bit. You appreciate her so much. I do too. She's the best. I think she should come entertain you guys for a little bit while I go use the restroom.
I think you should hold your horses because I'm doing something.
I have to hold my horses though because she's doing something. And also, I don't have horses. This is bullshit.
Hold your bladder then.
We love you too, Mom. Wanted, not prompted.
That's right.
Be stable. Damn. It's a good pun, Kim. It's a good pun. I like it. I came up with the pun earlier, didn't I? What was it? I thought it was pretty good. I came up with a couple of them.
Mm-hmm. Can't remember what they were.
I can't remember either. Oh. I know one, but I'm not gonna say it. I'm gonna put it on a t-shirt or something stupid.
Speaking of t-shirts, you owe me a drawing of Kevin.
I do owe you a drawing of Kevin. I hope I don't get sued for it if you use it on anything.
No, it's original artwork.
Should we do it in like a weird style?
No. I mean, it can be.
Oh, I kind of like this weird shit going on. What is happening? Sorry, I'm looking at weird art. Do some like do Kevin, but in like some Andy Warhol type art or something weird.
Yeah. I just don't want it to detract from the meaning of
The point, yeah. Hello. Harm is a little bit of a diva sometimes.
Who said that?
I said that.
Oh, interesting.
You're famous to me. What now? What do now?
Can't find this picture.
Ooh, okay. Here's some cool stuff. There's some stuff that people at the University of Oregon, where I used to go to school, are doing, where they are like scanning people's brains while these people are thinking about stuff, say a person's face or an object or a house or something, a location. And then they are going under fMRI scanning, right? Functional magnetic resonance imaging. And they're asked, to think about something. And the researchers are watching the activity of the scan and trying to recreate the image that person was thinking about with some pretty cool success. Like low pixelation, but still pretty neat. Yeah, like faces, remembering faces. Adam Henry Anthony Henderson. Kimsta, I think I missed, if you had a couple comments there, I missed the first one. It must have been cut out for some reason. Solves crimes by hyper focusing. Yeah, I think we're trying to figure out how the brain is storing things, which will look a little different for every person, but it's pretty cool that we're even doing it. And this is not just this is not just at the University of Oregon. There are other places doing it too, but I happen to know one of the people at UO that is doing it or trying to. Yeah, it looks like they're trying to understand the neurological difference between when a person is looking at an image and processing it visually and when a person is recalling that image later. Which I think, based on old research that has been done a lot, it kind of looks like when you're processing an image, a great portion of your cortex is dedicated to that processing. But then when you go to recall that image, the same parts of the cortices are being used, but to a much lesser degree. Kimsta, I think I'm missing a couple of your comments. Incorporate and buy your old house? That'd be dope. Measuring viewing versus memory. Yeah, kind of. I mean, just what capacity is necessary, right? If you think about it, it makes sense. When you're processing something for the first time, you're going to need a lot of information going, right? A lot of stuff coming in and being used. And then when you go to remember it, you really only need like the necessary retrieval cues, and then they spark the necessary neural pathways where that or aspects of that object were encoded, right? So if you think about it, it's just the brain's way of being really efficient with memory. Yeah, sorry, Kimsta. I'm not sure what is going on here. I just see something that says would be so cute and fun. Yeah, measuring brain activity. Also, it's nice to see you. Hmm. I'm gonna have to read more about this and report on it later. What else do we have? Ooh, there's looks like there's new stuff as of March 18th. As of today, there's new stuff on how the coronavirus triggers immune response in the brain. I suppose the summary says that it has a similar effect on the brain's immune cells as it does throughout the rest of the body. Huh.
All right, get lost.
Okay. I'm getting booted. Everybody, have fun.
It's my turn.
It's your time to shine.
My time to create chaos.
My time is over.
What's up, everybody? Where's my mom? Hello. Oh, it's weird sitting over here. I can see myself in two cameras at once. Thank you. We went to the beach today. It was very exciting. It was still pretty cold. On this account? Oh, on YouTube and then over here on his account too. Yeah. This camera is like having a really hard time focusing on me. It's weird. Anyway, what's happening? I forgot what day of the week it was. I get first choice. First choice for what? Aw, thanks. Again, what? Why again? Why do you seem disappointed, Katie? Oh, where we live. Yes. Well, I've already vetoed Pennsylvania. I was like, I don't want to live there. That sounds like a shitty place to live. No offense. If anybody lives in Pennsylvania, I'm sure it's not that bad, but I don't know a whole lot about I know Pennsylvania is more eastern rather than Midwest, but it feels very Midwest to me. Oh, well, I forget what day it is every day, to be fair. I look like Lydia. Thanks. I was trying so hard to let my bangs grow out, and then they grew to like here, and I was like, it's gonna take so long for them to like grow, so I cut them instead. Katie, it is not always Tuesday. No, it is not.
It's not always Tuesday, but it's Tuesday today. Tuesday. The Friday is, well, hold on. Yeah, Friday is the Tuesday of the end of the week. Everybody knows.
It's
true.
I'm not sure about that.
No, it's true. Ask Katie.
Kimsta says, you don't get to take back the life, that it's not my life.
That's fair. I mean, people want what people want.
Tell the brain man to get lost, she says. All right, come back, Brainiac.
No, I'm playing the Rubik's Cube.
Yeah, I bet you are. You would be. Brainiac.
What does that mean? Call me Brainiac.
Okay, bye, everybody.
What is up? How was all your time with my wife? Was she fun? Is she cool? I think she's cool. like rolling over my cords over here. And our eyes light up. Shush. So cheesy. It's true, though. It's so true. We have looked back at our old lives, and it's just funny how we both were just kind of dead inside in the moment we met each other. Way different. Every time we talk to each other, makes you want to walk into traffic. Ah, poor Kimsta. I'm sorry. Yeah, I do love this lady, though, a lot. She's amazing. Also, have a Rubik's Cube. I don't know why. I don't feel like solving this right now because I've been told that it's really loud in the phone. What were we doing? We were reading about stuff. No, get out of here. I don't want that. Would you stop it? Not you. You're welcome anytime.
Well, I live here, so thanks.
You're welcome.
You know what I have to say to you?
What? Oh no. Do we have a guest on our show?
No, they're not attached enough.
Oh, okay. Maybe next time.
Perhaps next time.
We do love each other very much. It's so sweet. Aw, thanks. It is very sweet. It's sickeningly sweet. I don't think either of us wanted this, but it happened, and we're byproducts of it. Our love is a byproduct of it. We were both simultaneously like, I'm done with people. I was done with people. She was done with people. We're like, man, you know what? There's nobody for me. Done. And then shortly after that, we met each other. Wouldn't you know it? Yeah, you did kind of get to watch the whole thing, huh? It's pretty weird. Warms your cold, dead heart. Jeez. That's good, Kimsta. Glad to kind of bring it back to life a little. Thanks for all the likes. Oh, yeah. Okay. I was reading this article. Hang on. Using chemogenetic technology to deactivate a small group of neurons in the colostrum made mice more resilient against chronic stress and reduced anxiety behaviors. That's pretty dope. Now, how can we do that in people? Your sense of humor is askew. I think it's just right for us. Dark humor, welcome. The only kind of humor we don't accept is humor that is derogatory towards others, primarily marginalized people. Singing in the rain. She's so refined. I think, oh no, I'll end it. I love my wife. She's the best wife anybody has ever had. And I feel bad. I feel bad for everybody who's ever existed and ever will exist because they will never have an amazing partner like my partner is.
He tells me that word for word on a daily basis, for anyone wondering.
It's true.
It's not just something he's saying right now.
It's true. I literally tell her this every day. I don't know if you could hear Harm. Oh. It's true, though. That's how I feel.
Yeah, I bet it is.
What was my new nickname for you?
No.
I forget what
Absolutely
it
not.
was.
Shh, silence.
I came up with a few of them. What was the cheesiest one? Come on, help me out.
Absolutely not.
There's Cutie Paw. That was one of them. That's not the one I'm thinking of. It'll come to me. It'll come to me in a minute. It is the dream. Lamont keeps that from the chat. Charmony. Oh no. She is so charming. I don't know why I've never thought of that. Actually, maybe I have. Kimsta.
Oh, that's funny because that's what my sisters called me for a long time.
Didn't they call you Charmer?
Yep, charmer, charmy.
Mm-hmm. Charmy. My little Charmander.
Charmeleon.
A little Charmeleon. Nah, Charmeleon's weird with his little lump on his head.
Hey, I'm weird with a little lump on my head.
You don't have a lump on your head. You don't look like a pterodactyl.
Yeah, I do.
Okay, you do a little. It's mostly in the nose.
Hey,
I'm just kidding.
damn, roasted.
Roasted. Boom, roasted.
Jeez. In my own home.
Charmeleonaire. I like that. It's pretty dope. It's pretty dope.
My nickname for a long time was Hard Money Money.
Yeah, hard money, money. Hard money, money, money. They see her rolling. They hate it. That's right. Why can't I think of the name I came up with for you? It was a good one.
No, it was not a good one.
I feel like it was something good.
It
Like
was highly offensive.
it was offensive.
Yes.
I feel like it was good. It was like Ted or something.
No, it was not Ted.
It wasn't. Does the sensory mind have to go through the conscious in order to communicate with discriminating mind? I'm not sure what you're asking exactly, but in terms of like conscious perception and subconscious cognition, technically no. There's lots of stuff that goes through our subconscious that we are not aware of. But I'm confused about what you're asking about, like the discriminating mind. I'm not familiar with that term.
I'm guessing probably the part of the mind that makes decisions.
Maybe. This looks like a legal term, actually. Okay, looks like there's some books on this. There is a working definition here that says noting distinctions and differences with accuracy and nicety. Is that what you're referring to? Charles Luxarius? Leroy, from like Leroy Jenkins? Leroy Jenkins. You called in reinforcements. Who? Basta. Consciousness is like the information hub for all the mind systems. I would argue against that. Maybe. But I don't really know because I don't know what consciousness is. We have a lot of ways to describe consciousness, and some people believe that there are different states of consciousness, right? Some people believe there's only one state, but others argue that there's three. Some argue that there's seven. Some argue more. So it depends on what you mean when you say like consciousness, right? It's like you have to be very specific about your definition there. But I kind of like to think of consciousness as the CEO of a company. I got this explanation from David Eagleman, by the way, where does he work at? He works at Stanford, I think. Let me look him up really quick. He's a little bit flashy, but I really like his talks. He's really fun to listen to.
I'm accidentally
Yeah, Stanford University.
I just thought you should know before I change.
My wife accidentally cosplayed as Finn from Adventure Time, and she looks great. Everybody see my wife. Come here, wife. Oh, hang on. I have to do the thing. Oh, wait. It's easier.
See my accidental Finn outfit?
She's got the shirt. She's got the shorts. She just needs the...
I need the hat and the backpack.
Oh, I still have that in
And a
my
tiny flower.
cart. I have the hat.
Well, I have a birthday coming up
Oh man,
shortly afterwards.
we're gonna have to get her a Finn cosplay outfit. Hi, Kate. What's up? She's very cute. Yes, she's adorable. All the time, hands down. And it's really difficult to be around somebody who's this adorable all the freaking time because then I have to go to work and I miss her all day, or she has to go to work and I miss her all day and I don't know what to do. So I just sit and analyze data. What was I talking about? Oh yeah. So David Eagleman gave a lecture once, and I really liked the way that he explained uh, consciousness. Right. So he said, your subconscious mind is sort of like doing all these things without you. Without you, it is you, but it's not the you that you're aware of. And it's almost like you have a big old steamship, right? And it's just all these different workers are at play, making sure that this thing is sailing right and that it's able to navigate the waters. And if an obstacle comes in the way, it can move around that obstacle, all these things. And then when it comes into contact with something that, say, an obstacle you've never met before, or something novel, or something surprising, right? Then it doesn't know what to do. So it wakes you up, your conscious self, this thing that wakes up in the morning and says, I'm me, right? It wakes you up and says, hey, what do I do in this instance? And so you're really just there for that part of the ride. And you're actually not necessary for everything, right? Like, that's why if you've driven in your car from point A to point B, say from home to work and then work to home, and you do this for 6, 7 months, maybe 6, 7 years, and it's the same drive every single day, after a while, you forget driving to work or driving home. You just forget the drive. You're like, I don't even remember how I got here. Has that ever happened to you? That's happened to me. Um, and essentially, what's happening is if nothing is novel, there's really no reason to wake you up. Just wasn't necessary. So your subconscious just kind of drove along without you while you were sort of off in la la land daydreaming, letting your body do the thing. The other parts of your brain and your body do the thing that it knows how to do. So when you say it's like an information hub, I don't know. I guess that is a way you could look at it, right? Like, I guess if you're going to say, yeah, maybe like there's this central organelle or whatever you want to call it. There's a central area where you can kind of look at every. But the problem is that your conscious mind can't look at everything, right? So it's not all the mind systems because there's plenty of mind systems that are operating well out of your conscious perception. And some things that are outside of your conscious perception you can bring into your conscious awareness, but plenty of things you cannot. They're just outside of your conscious grasp, probably for good reason. It probably actually saves your life to be that way. Kathy and Raina, where are they? I don't know, I was talking too long, so they're probably here. But are the id, the ego, and superego still accepted concepts? I think some people still accept them, but I think the mass majority of people have kind of disregarded them. Although the superego is sort of a solid concept, I still like to use it because it kind of makes sense to me. But like the idea of the id is a little bit wishy-washy, and the idea of an ego is not so wishy-washy, but it's still a little wishy-washy to me. But the idea of the superego, that you have this imposed, internalized dialogue that is representative of the dialogue that your caretakers used on you as you were being raised, makes a lot of sense to me. And I think that still holds true. I think it's still an accepted idea. You'd be a superego? Information hub in the sense that it's the place where mind systems communicate. I don't know. Ultimately, I don't know. I think that it depends on your definition of hub. But yeah, I maybe for conscious systems, yeah. Yeah. Like sensory systems, your nociception, um, audio, visual, gustatory, proprioception, ones that are within conscious awareness, they all likely converge here or are accessible here. Um, don't be mean, Kate. Don't puke at me. Uh, I can agree with that. I can get on board with that, I think. Um, Another thing is that it's hard to nail down what structure of the brain that actually is, or if it's several structures, or I know that there is at least one structure that's implicated, but is it possible that it's not even a single structure? It's literally just all of those structures working together as the thing itself. Again, it depends on what your definition of consciousness is, I think. My brainios are getting noodled. Let's look something up really quick. No. Okay, let's check out a nature paper. Very pretty pictures. No, thank you. Get out of here. Can you all hear that?
Sorry, it's a lot of annoying.
Harm's messing with her arm. It's very cute. Yes, location. Let's see. Clear. Yeah, okay. So this article in Nature, I'll give you the title in a minute, but it says it has become increasingly clear that consciousness is not confined to only one region of the brain. Various cells and pathways are engaged depending on what is being perceived or the type of perception that is involved. So it looks like at least this one article, just the first one I pulled up that looked like it was in a reputable journal, they kind of seem to agree with the idea that consciousness stems from the use of those parts of your brain, not so much as a hub, it is those things together. So unless you consider those things a part of the hub, then maybe yeah, you could say it was a hub. But I don't know. Things can always change. You never know. Oh, this article is Decoding the Neuroscience of Consciousness. A growing understanding of consciousness could lead to fresh treatments for brain injuries and phobias. This is from the Nature website. This is not a peer-reviewed article. This is based off of peer-reviewed articles, but this is a like a journal. What do you call it? Not a peer-reviewed journal, but like a I don't know how to make that more distinct. Hmm. Another theme that I see come up a lot is that it must have something to do with the hindbrain and midbrain in terms of where it's originating, but I don't know. I don't know about that. It seems to be a common thing that people are accepting. Do you know an exercise to remember things that have been forgotten, like childhood? Uh, hmm, that's a tough one. The Why that's so tough is because the things that you've forgotten in childhood, likely they're not all out of your realm of grasping them once again, right? But whatever retrieval cues you use now are probably not the same retrieval cues that you used then to encode memories. So, for anybody who doesn't know, a retrieval cue is just a cue that you can use to bring up an associated memory. For instance, if I said, this is a Rubik's Cube, and I want you to think about the Rubik's Cube, okay? And the thing I want you to know about the Rubik's Cube is that I'm wearing a red beanie. You're like, that doesn't make any sense. And it doesn't. And we can talk for a long time. I'm not going to sit and do this because it's just not necessary. But I could just go off and talk about something else now for a while. And then, 10, 20 minutes later, maybe even tomorrow, I could come up to you and go, hey, you remember what I said about my beanie, my red beanie? And you'd go, red beanie? Oh, yeah, that it had something to do with the Rubik's Cube, right? So, in a way, I'm able to get you to access your memory of the Rubik's Cube by giving you the memory recall mechanism red beanie, right? There are many different types of retrieval cues people can use. People use this when studying to their advantage. A lot of people use foods or odors, perfumes, gum, different smells while they're studying, and then they use that smell while they take their test to try to put their brain in a state where they can actively remember that memory. But in early childhood, before we're really talking, we have to, like later in adulthood, we typically have some sort of verbal dialogue about what's going on around us. So we tend to, like, for instance, when I said red beanie, right? Stored that information and the retrieval cue as words. But, how were you doing that before you had words, right? Or really knew how to use words? There must have been some way. I don't know how because I can't remember. Um, or maybe the way you were using words was different. And that might be why you have problems accessing those memories. This is a really long winded explanation for me to tell you I don't know. But I will tell you that if I were to develop a strategy to go about trying to remember forgotten childhood memories, that strategy would begin with trying to make my environment similar to how it was when I encoded that memory in whatever way I could possible. Being around the same people that were there during the formation of that memory, being in the same location if possible, being near the same items, say old toys, clothing, if there's like a fireplace you used to sit by, or if there's like a creek you used to play in all the time, things like that would probably start. The longer you sit there and just mess around and make that environment similar, the more likely you are to trigger an old memory. That's how I'd go about doing it. Sandy Lambert. You learn about the mind from a meditation viewpoint. Like nothing would connect or make sense, and we just have a body that functions. What is that in response to? I totally forgot. I'm talking too much. Typically the case. Yes, I know. You're very cute. Reading a lot about no self, but it's hard to grasp. I don't know what no self is. I know about people who do neuroscience meditation research, but I've not heard of this. Oh, the no. Okay, this is like a Buddhist concept. Is that what you're referring to? I do know about this. This is actually a pretty cool concept. If this is what you're referring to, I do like this concept. Create an impoverished, abusive environment. Check. Don't do that. Please don't do that. That's bad for the brain. Watching the same cartoons for sure. Yeah, cartoons are a good one for sure. Old movies, old board games. Back in the chat. There she is. When I was 15, so that's probably why I forgot most of the things that happened. Could be. Another thing is, if at that time you had a lot of traumatic stress, doesn't necessarily have to be what other people consider traumatic, right? Just if you're not from the US and you move to the US, the act of that move might have been traumatic for you, right? It depends. Everybody's different. One person might think something's traumatic, but another person doesn't, right? But the point is that when you're in a heightened state of awareness, probably the most powerful retrieval cue is your emotionality. We call this state dependent learning. Okay. So you're learning based on the state that you are in. And the state that you are in will feed into how you are encoding and internalizing information, how you consolidate that information, and how it is stored in your long term memory. So, say you go through an accident, say a car accident, like I did. My state of mind during that car accident was not a normal state of mind. And my sense of emotionality was not a normal sense of emotionality. I probably couldn't recreate it if I tried because it's not something that I do naturally. It was a state of alertness and probably fear and anxiety and panic and all sorts of things that, although I know how to feel them on my own, whatever crazy heightened state that I was in during this time was so impactful. Maybe it was just a survival state. Maybe I wasn't even scared. I don't really know. Maybe it was something else, right? But the thing is it's not something that I feel normally. That's the point. And it's hard for me to try to feel that way. Like if I want to try to be happy, I can sort of make myself happy. If I want to try to be sad, I can make myself sad. I just think about sad things, right? But what we know is if I am in a bad mood, if I'm really upset, and I remember, okay, so first off, if I'm in a bad mood, I'm more likely to remember bad memories. And if I'm in a good mood, I'm more likely to remember good memories, right? If I am in a bad mood and I do remember a good memory, I'm more likely to remember it as less good than it was originally, initially. If I am in a good mood and I remember a bad memory, I'm more likely to remember it as not as bad as I thought it was initially, right? So the way that we remember and the way that we encode information definitely keeps an emotional component to it. That being the case, sometimes when people experience trauma, they store it with that quality of emotion that is intense. And they cannot retrieve it because they cannot recreate the emotional retrieval cue necessary to access that memory. And that is thought to be why some people repress their memory and cannot remember the event. So I don't know. Maybe something like that could be going on. Is there one 100% needed area you could delete from the brain and there would be no consciousness? Yeah. Depending on your definition, by medical definition, a person's not conscious if they're asleep, right? But I would say anything in this region, right around here. Anything in this brainstem region. Knock any of that out, that person's gone. Not just unconscious, they're dead. They will likely die. Smells. If you baked cookies or ate certain meals as a kid, good retrieval. Yes, odors are the best retrieval cues. So odor memory is not like that of other memories. When we describe memory, we talk about Ebbinghouse's forgetting curve. So Ebbinghouse's forgetting curve is a way to describe how people forget or retain novel information. So Ebbinghaus, I forget his first name. He performed an experiment where he gave people random strings of letters, and they were required to remember these random strings of letters, like X, K, Z, S, or something. Just little four letter strings. And he would test them immediately. Some people he would test immediately and they would lose like maybe 10%. They would remember about 90%. And then he would test some people 10 minutes later and find out that they lost like 80% and only retained 20%. And then test some people a day later and find out they only retained like later. Those people only retained like 5%. Right? It's very exponentially dropping, and then it plateaus at some point. And wherever it flattens out, that's basically what you're going to retain forever. Not forever, but it could potentially retain forever. So, when you read a book, you typically absorb about 10% of it that you'll carry on with you, and you'll forget the other 90%. This is generally true for most forms of knowledge, I think. And then if you learn something and you get that drop off where you barely remember any of it, the more times you relearn it, the less severe that drop off is. So the more you're relearning something, the more likely you're to retain more of it. Odor memory is different. So when you learn a new odor, people who learn a new odor, a novel odor, they tend to, if you test them immediately, they know their odor immediately. 90% or better of the time, really well. However, you don't have to test that person immediately. You can test them 6 months later, and they still have like 70 to 80% accuracy, which is far better than any other kind of memory. So I would argue that makes odor an extremely powerful association mechanism. Sometimes I share this story that was shared with me by a mentor of mine who she had been at the store absentmindedly looking at her phone and had finished up at the cash register and started walking outside. And she got to this car and she looked up and there was a man standing there staring at her like, "What are you doing here?" And it startled her. And then she realized that she wasn't at her car. She was at this guy's car, and she had followed this guy to his car absentmindedly. And she was like, "Oh, that's weird." So she went back to her car. She found her car. She thought about it and she went, "I totally followed that guy to his car because he was wearing my dad's old cologne." And even though she hadn't seen her dad in like decades because he had been dead, she remembered being a little girl following her dad out to the car with his cologne. Yeah. So much so that when she was just being absent-minded and walking, it triggered a whole process of action, right? Yeah. Chanel number 5. My mom wore that too, yeah. Oh, I see. Do you ever keep any extra around? Like just in case? I don't know. Sometimes you smell your grandma's favorite perfume and it makes you smile. Taboo. That's sweet. Yeah, odor memory is a pretty wild one. Very good retrieval cue. Like, there's just not a lot of it, and it makes sense why evolutionarily, right? Because likely odor is the first sense any animal ever had. Even single-celled organisms use chemoreception, like we do. It's very important, and for us, it's really important. For most mammals, it's really important to find a mate. Really important to find food. Really important to identify potential threats, territories, social cues. I don't know, lots of things. And um, yeah, I think humans, especially humans have a really weirdly refined palate. And although it's not really possible to ask other animals what they're tasting, we kind of know from research that most animals don't really taste their food very well. They can sort of taste if their food is good for them or if it's poison, sort of, based on what we can observe. But for us, uh, our ability to perceive flavors is insane, like phenomenal. And that is largely thought to be due to our ability to subconsciously understand nutritional content of the food that we're eating, which I think is pretty unique to humans. I don't think there are a lot of other animals that do that. You were scared they'd stop producing them. Aw, it's very sweet. Would it be wise to always use one cologne to create a signature scent for yourself? I think there are instances where that could be wise. For instance, with what Kim's just sharing, right? It's going to be hard to forget that person. In essence, we all have our own signature scent, much like dogs do. That's kind of grodier. Um, in essence, get it? Did anybody get that? Good, proud of you. Um, but another thing is, I think for myself, it is important for me to change things up. For me, that might not be. I guess that's my answer. Generally, the case. Uh, it depends. It depends on the individual. Some people might want a signature scent. Some people may feel like one scent represents them, and then after a time, they feel like it no longer represents them and needs to be replaced with a different scent. And that's okay. Um, yeah, I don't know. There's also evidence to suggest that we can smell each other's immune system, which is why we're sometimes really attracted to someone's scent. That's true. Yes, and if you think that you can get something from their nervous system or from their immune system um, relevant to an an area that you're in, you're more likely to be attracted to them. Um, Also, weird thing that we used to do before COVID that not a lot of humans really realized that we did was we shake each other's hands when we meet each other, and then we immediately touch our face. And I don't think many people know that they're doing that because we do it subconsciously. In fact, consciously, it seems like a pretty disgusting thing to do. I don't want to shake your hand, not knowing where your hand has been, and then touch my face, especially not with COVID going on. So now we don't really do that. But there was research to show before COVID that that's kind of what people do. And it's thought that we subconsciously are taking in information about their um, immunochemistry, I suppose. Smells citrusy, according to different boyfriends I've had, even with different products. Yeah, I also am a very citrusy person, which is very interesting. So citrusy scents smell really good on me. Yeah. Harmony is very floral, for sure. She smells like flowers all the time. Have you ever tried the memory palace technique? It's surprisingly easy and efficient. Um, I think I'm not going to look this up because I think I know what you're talking about. I might get it wrong, then I'll look it up. But what I think you're talking about is when you're learning a new thing, you think about a house and where that thing lives in your house. So, for instance, maybe chemistry lives in the kitchen, and so when you're learning about um, covalent bonds are in the blender for some reason, maybe like thermodynamics are in the refrigerator, that kind of thing. Is that what you're talking about? The pill can change who you're attracted to. What pill, Katie?
Birth control.
The birth control pill? Fighting now because it's been steering me wrong. Yeah, I think people's physiology changes after a while. I'm not sure. Birth control sucks. It's valuable. It's valuable and it has its uses that are very important for a lot of people, but also ugh, it just sucks having to mess with your physiology. Unless you like, I don't know. Sometimes it's a good thing, but off and on it, yeah. I've heard that some people do that. I can't really comment on it because I don't know anything about it. I don't have the parts, so I just don't know. Never used it. Can be more simple as just placing things on your shopping list in your memory palace. Oh, interesting. Yeah. Yeah, I kind of use a memory palace technique, but I like to place things where they go. They go somewhere in the house for me. Like taking a mental walk in your house and place objects. Yeah. So then I go, and you can use your actual house. In fact, it's better that way because then you can walk around your house and you go, hey, what did I leave sitting on this chair? Oh, yeah, it's neuropathy. Like, oh, but what did I have sitting on the desk? Well, that was trigeminal neuropathy. A shed with a broken door and like raccoons in and out of it all the time, knocking over the trash. It's just the trash can right on outside the door. That's why you say weird shit. Proud of you. Same, same. My brain too is trash pandas. Totally off topic. I know someone that was recently diagnosed with ALS. What can be expected? I don't know. Let's look it up. Amyotrophic lateral sclerosis. Nerve cells break down, which reduces functionality in the muscles they supply. So it's like a typical sclerosis. Cause is unknown. But the main symptom is muscle weakness, which is generally the case with sclerosis. Uh, so apparently it affects the nerve cells in the brain and spinal cord, not necessarily out into the peripheral body, but much like MS, you know, you're seeing atrophy of the myelination around the neurons. So I suppose what you can see with time is that person's muscles are going to get weak. And eventually, they probably will not be able to support their body with their own legs. They probably will still be able to use their arms, at least to some degree, for a long time. Uh, oh, it does affect nervous tissue from the spinal cord to the muscles, and eventually leads to the death of those neurons. Yeah, because if they don't have adequate myelination, they can't metabolize properly and they die. Um, so it will get worse over time, unfortunately. They will lose voluntary muscle movements and motor control. So uh, their muscles will get weaker, but also they might randomly move on their own or not be able to move when you try to move them. It says for about 5 to 10% of cases, there is a known family history of the disease. But for 90%, nobody knows what caused it. And for families that have familial ALS, there's a 50% chance that each of their offspring will inherit the mutation that may develop the disease. Scary stuff. Client, very sad. I think it's fatal. And Stephen Hawking had it. Yes. Did Stephen? He might have. Yeah, actually, I think. Yeah, yeah, that's the one that he died from. And Stephen Hawking had every medical treatment available to him. So, he actually lived a very long time for somebody with that condition. Fun fact, his IQ was 160.
I think he was on the spectrum.
He might have been, yeah. He might have been on the spectrum. I don't know. Maybe. He was a very smart gentleman. They're building their dream home right now. Well, hopefully their dream home is they're keeping that accessibility in mind as forethought, because that's going to be very important. Yeah, I'm sorry that's going on. Your client must be having quite the struggle right now, because I feel like learning about these conditions can be really scary when you first learn that you have them. Yeah, so hopefully they'll be okay. They'll be able to come to a resolution within it. It's not? Oh no. Well, if it's going to be their dream home and they're going to stay there, they should probably at least consider making things like wheelchair accessible and, making it easier to move about the house. Sorry, like detached my piercing for a second. Yeah, that's not good. They should be thinking about that. I mean, I'm sure they probably did a great deal of planning before they found this out, but it'll be good to think about it going forward. Unrelated.
Did you see the comment I said before that?
No,
Oh, did that come through?
I guess not.
I said, why do you think people ate mummies?
Oh, I have no idea. Why would people eat mummies? That's disgusting. Maybe to gain their knowledge?
I don't know. Something happened.
It looks like ancient Egyptians were eating mummies as medicine.
No, this was like a European thing that happened in like the 1900s.
Maybe for the same reason. They were trying to figure out why it was being used as medicine. Hang on. Yeah, as medicine. Mummy medicine. Ew. Eventually, some Europeans no longer cared whether the bodies they were ingesting had been mummified or not. Just cannibalism. What is happening? Yeah, because Europeans were eating Egyptian mummies. Okay. Hmm. Okay. Okay. So the reason why they were eating them, the Europeans were eating Egyptian mummies, and so were the Egyptians as medicine, is because of a naturally occurring hydrocarbon that is called bitumen. I don't know if I said that right. But you can combine it with a number of other things for health stuff. So, for instance, you can combine it with vinegar to remove clotted blood. Some people used it to treat cataracts, toothaches, skin diseases. Um, there are, let's see, naturally occurring bitumen from the Dead Sea um, was had antimicrobial and biocidal properties, um, and also contains sulfur. Let's see, and then so mummies, I guess, kind of have this chemical in them. So they were thinking that if they ate these mummies, it would heal their various issues, and that's not the case at all. But that was the reputation at that time. It's very strange. Added an elevator to their house in San Diego. That's amazing. How is that medicine? Medicinal mummies harm, duh. I thought you went to school. Once in meditation, I experienced nimitta. Oop. When visual minds stop projecting content into consciousness. Good morning. What's up? Surprisingly, it was not darkness, but more of a cloudy place. More of a cloudy place. I have not heard of this. Interesting. Yeah, I don't know much about this state of mind. Chilling on your graveyard shift. I'm doing all right. Yeah. Yeah. How long's your shift? Call it the inner light. It's supposed to be what you experience before dying. Yeah, that's what I was reading, but I don't know how true that is, you know. A lot of that stuff's pretty wishy-washy. It's hard to buy into. I think that's probably why there isn't like a really good consensus on a definition for it. Looks like it occurs spontaneously through meditative practices. I've been meditating for a long time. I don't think I've had something like this occur.
What is it?
Sort of state of the mind, I suppose. Um, it's sort of hard to describe. Like, there's a very like general description.
Interesting.
Yeah. 12 hours, geez. You just sit in one place and listen to music. What's up, Vince? Well, that's not bad. I normally personally don't enjoy graveyard shifts. I don't like sitting in place for too long. Like even just sitting here is like, oh man, I've been here for 2.5 hours. Jeez. But what work have I gotten done? You get too sleepy. I do too. Also, where I used to work a graveyard shift, like it was at a gas station, and they would always get robbed during the graveyard shift. So that was never enjoyable. Like, is today the day? you know. Oh, I was solving a cube. I remember now. Thanks for all the likes, everybody. We're at 5,000. Jeez. What was I doing? I remember doing. Oh yeah, here we are. Today's the day. uh, Yeah. This one's right. This one's wrong. This one's wrong. This one's wrong. Okay. Wee! Bam. Feel groggy all the time, though. Yeah. Damn circadian rhythm. Trash. You've been in a sensory deprivation tank. The sound of my heartbeat was disturbing. Yeah, this was something I was talking with my boss about. So maybe he and I should do a podcast on this sometime, actually. But there is evidence to suggest that. So, okay, there's this thing with pain. It's called the gate theory of pain, right? And although the original concept, the anatomical construction of it, has since been kind of disproven, the idea of it as a whole, still a pretty good explanation. And some of it holds kind of accurate. So one thing is that the circuitry is much more complex than initially thought, but essentially probably does the same thing. So you have your small nerve fibers and your large nerve fibers that are bringing sensory information in from the external body into the dorsal root ganglion in the spine and then off to the brain. And by having your large fibers stimulated, you're sort of shutting the action gate of pain. So actually your brain, your body is always in a state of pain, relatable. But these large fibers receiving information are actively shutting that gate so that you do not feel the pain. So the body's default is pain. Again, relatable. But your sensory information that you're receiving is stopping you from feeling that pain. And when you have damage to that sensory information, generally like your sense of touch or some sort of quality related, um, it no longer can shut that gate. And so your smaller fibers become more active and send that pain signal up to the brain. So if your large fibers are not receiving sufficient information, feedback from the environment, um, stimuli that normally would not be considered painful starts to become painful. So like when you're like, the sound of my heartbeat is disturbing. Can't manage to meditate. Yeah, I actually don't think a lot of people can. I think maybe some people can, but I think most people get really disturbed by it. No, it's not a placebo. It's just the way the circuitry is wired. Um, so, yeah, we were talking about how uh, sensory deprivation might put people in pain. Yeah, weirdly enough. This also is why sometimes with neuropathy, you get really strange things that normally wouldn't be painful, but then they become painful, such as scar tissue being really sensitive to touch. It hurts to touch it. It shouldn't, but it does because the circuitry has changed. Yeah, that's some pretty cool stuff. You think most people can train the mind to meditate? I think that's true. You're just sort of like self hypnosis. This world shall know pain. Yeah, for sure. Yeah. I mean, it's our default setting. So the way the circuitry is set up, if you had no sensory information coming in at all, you would be in pain. Again, ugh. I feel like these last couple of years have been nothing but pain for a lot of people. It's been rough. Been rough. Yeah. But we're here. getting late. I feel like I need more coffee. Neuropathy and had neural reprogramming. Now, where there used to be pain, I feel static. That's really strange. I've never heard of that. That's really interesting. It kind of makes sense to me. You're sort of like unlearning that pain circuitry. That's kind of how we see, we're sort of, I don't know. In my lab, we sort of see pain in the spinal cord as related to this, similar to processes of long-term potentiation. So it's almost like you're training your spine to remember the pain in a way. That's a little bit, but maybe you kind of get it. It's hard to make it simple. Yeah, so I think I could see how you might be able to stop feeling pain, but you still are unable to replace that with the proper sense. Like Deadpool? No. Yeah, I imagine it is a wild sensation. Yeah. I'm not sure I would enjoy that more. Like personally, I'm okay with pain. I honestly don't have I've experienced so much of it in my life that I just don't really have a problem with it very often anymore. I have a very high pain tolerance. Yeah, exactly. You separate the suffering from the pain. I very much do the same thing. I've had to learn to do that. Yeah. It's just a state you're going through, just like any other state. It's like, I see light. Um, I hear sound. I can feel and touch, surfaces, taste and smell. I also nocicept. I feel pain. Yeah. Yep. Same. Let's see. I'm actually getting pretty tired. I'll maybe like talk for a little bit more here, maybe like another 5 minutes or so. But I think I'm probably going to hop off here soon. I know these normally go on for a little bit longer, like another half hour or so. Also, I was late to the game because I was petting a dog, and that was very important to me. It's a very important dog because it's my neighbor's dog, and she doesn't like anybody. She's really skittish to everyone, especially men, I guess. She's really skittish to men. But for the first time today, she like ran up to me and wanted to play. And I've been here for like 6 months or something. So I was like, I'm playing with this dog. This dog is getting playtime. This dog is getting the much needed love she needs. Brain tired moment. That's like literally every day, all day long. It's just part of my personality now. Leighton, Sweden. Yeah, it was nice talking to you. Good luck with your meditations and your practices. May you find whatever you're looking for. I hope it's a good journey for you. May you have sleep. May you have good sleep, restful sleep. And maybe we'll see you again. By the way, I do this every week, Friday Night Lives, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard. I have no idea what that is in Swedish time, depending on where you're at. But also, so Eastern Standard to the U.S. I don't know how time zones work in other countries. I should probably look that up so I know. Also, YouTube, Neural Jack. If you're not already following me, if you're not already subscribed to my channel, please do so. It helps me out a lot, more than you probably realize. And I always appreciate, the comments, the feedback, all the stuff. Yeah. My wife is adorable. She's just so goofy. I love this lady.
What you talking about?
I don't know. What are we talking about? Give me something to talk about. One last thing. Yes, I will rest well. You rest well as well. As well as well. What's a final thought? Let's do a final thought. What's the funnest thing I learned about the brain or something? What did that person ask?
No, something along those lines.
Most interesting thing about the brain?
Why are people into like horror movies and getting scared?
I don't know. Why are people into horror movies and getting scared?
I mean, I have theories.
I have theories too. I think my theories fall along the lines of habituation. I think people like to be habituated to scary things so that they feel less scary. And if their lives in particular are feeling pretty scary at that time, then to become habituated to scary things makes the real scary things feel a little less scary. That's what I think, but I'm not sure. That's why I think people like scary things. Some people watch scary things to go to sleep. Ooh. Don't get eaten by the brain.
What's the scariest movie you've ever watched?
Safe adrenal jolts. Yeah. What's the scariest movie I've ever watched? Oh, I don't know. I don't really get scared by movies anymore. But that game we're playing is super scary. We're replaying Resident Evil 7. That shit's wild. I forgot how perfectly they nailed scary in that game. Scariest movie I've ever seen. Oh, I don't know. I need to look some up. I need to watch more scary movies.
I think scariest movie I've ever seen is probably something to do with aliens, but I don't know which one.
Oh, with aliens? Sure. Aliens are always scary. I think The Fourth Kind was kind of freaky. That was a pretty freaky alien movie. Yeah. You remember that one?
I've never seen that.
Oh, really?
Yeah, you know.
Oh, we should watch it. It's a very scary one. Don't Look Up as a docudrama. Yeah, for sure. That one is scary.
Very true.
It's
Horrifying.
that movie just is good and also pisses me off because it's too accurate. It's just annoyingly accurate. Yeah, that's fair. That's also a fun note to kind of end things on. I think that I am done here now, or I will be. I'm going to give you 50 seconds to entertain me. Go. What do you got for me? Give me the best you got in 50 seconds. Go. And go. 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 Your time's running out. You've got 34 seconds. Go. And go. Go. Don't think. Just go. Tell me what you got for me. Hurry up. All right. Running out of time. You got 20 more seconds. Cats are smarter than dogs. I don't know that that's true. It depends on what kind of intelligence you're talking about. I think dogs are pretty smart. And it depends on what breed of dog. Yeah. Some dogs are hella dumb. Some dogs are really smart. I think cats appear smarter than dogs. I don't know that that's actually true, though. Although they are the reason we know most of what we know about the visual system, I think. All right, that's it. You failed to entertain me, but maybe you can try again next week. You like cats more than dogs? I like dogs. I love dogs. They're just super lovey all the time. No reason. Excited, ready to go.
I have a theory that
Harm has a theory.
certain attachment issues that people have are related to the kinds of animal companions that they pick. Dogs give love very unconditionally, and they always want to be around you, and they never want to leave your side. And I feel like if you didn't get a whole lot of that at certain points in your life, you might be more attracted to that than an animal.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Okay, what about people who are more attracted to cats?
They I probably have had some sort of bad relationship at some point.
Personal boundaries broken.
I don't know.
I love dogs and cats. I actually love them equally. They're both really awesome. But I'm allergic to kitties, and I'm not allergic to dogs. So I like dogs a lot.
I'm allergic to both,
But I love both.
but I prefer cats.
I don't prefer either. I like them
Cats-
both. I want both in my house.
I like cats because I don't want something that needs my attention 24/7.
I like dogs because I need them to need me. You know what I'm saying? Like aggressively. I have to be wanted.
But if you want to be needed, why wouldn't you get a cat? They're known for that.
Oh, cats make bread. They're good kneaders.
Just want to be biscuits.
I saw a TikTok that was point of view, you're the biscuits.
I sent it to
Oh, you sent that to me?
you.
That was pretty good. Kitties are great. All right. I'm out, friends. Love you all. Hopefully we can have look forward to the two of us getting a cat. Yeah, thanks, Vince. Maybe we can have a great cat dog debate someday. Maybe I'll make a cat dog. I don't know. We'll find out. Tune in next week. Porque no los dos. Bye, friends.
Bye, fellas.